Drive wire. Hey, Bruce.
Mark. ESP.
All right, well, I think we're on the air, so we're going to go live.
Yep, I see the stream.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, it's Curtis Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people, and a lot of us are here down at the Coco Fest, having a great time. It's the second day, and we're just about done, so you guys have to come out next year.
This is CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. Streaming live on YouTube and Roku, available as a podcast and enjoyed the world over. And now, here's your host. All right, well, we're here. We are live on CoCoTALK. We are on episode 59. Tom C. is saying there's no audio. Can anybody confirm if we have audio output right now?
I heard the audio before I muted the YouTube stream. I don't know about Roku.
Confirm if we have audio output right now? Okay, yep. Brendan Donahe just chimed in and says, I have audio. Hey, Brendan Donahe's there. Hello, everyone. All right, well, we're back. It's episode 59. It is Memorial Day weekend. And guess what? Audio issues again. The Windows 10 update has really screwed up my ability to live broadcast. And all the clips are coming through low. I thought I had it fixed. I thought I did a test. And I created all kinds of new intros and outros and all kinds of content today. And guess what? It all sounds really low. Okay, so Nick Marotta says, I hear audio on YouTube. Yeah, Tom C. says just the pre-recorded stuff he can't hear. And listen, this is very frustrating, but it is what it is. We're just going to have to deal with it. So we're here. It's a Saturday. We're doing what we do. We're live. We're on the air. We've got a panel with us. We've got with us now Mr. James Diffendaffer. Hello and welcome to the show, James.
Greetings, everyone.
We're delighted to have you. We have Mr. Mark D. Overholser with us on the program. Hello, Mark.
Hi, y'all.
We have from O Canada, L. Curtis Boyle in the house. Hello, Curtis.
Hello, everyone.
Also from the Great White North, D. Bruce Moore is with us. How's it going, eh?
Going great, eh?
All right, that's some beauty. We have driving, whereabouts unknown, destination unknown, but maker of the Switch-a-Roo, Jason, the CoCoMAN Reighard, is with us. Hello, Jason.
Yeah, greetings from the Ohio Turnpike.
All right. And last but certainly not least, we have the Timberman, Ron Delvaux. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. It's another week, and we are live. And we are simulcasting. We are live both on YouTube and on Roku. So if you've got CoCo TV on Roku, you should be seeing us there now too. We are simulcasting. So CoCo TV is now the second home of CoCoTALK. You can catch us in a couple of different places. Not to mention also as an audio podcast. We also have now joining us Nick Marotta, also in Canada. Disney Saints fan is here. Hey, Disney Saints fan. One of our patrons. I've also got a little crawl on the bottom here thanking our patrons that we got going on. It's been another week. Last week we attempted to get the program going live on Roku, and we eventually did, and it is now definitely within our power to do so. So the plan is to be simulcast on CoCo TV every week forward. And anybody who's got a Roku right now, if you want to check to see if we're there, hopefully you will see us. Nick says, we're international and proud of it, is what Mark says. And Nick says, but not too proud. Otherwise, we have to say sorry. Oh, is that a Canadian thing? Sorry. Sorry, yep, we're so sorry.
Sorry about that. But yeah,
sorry about that. Yeah. Hi, all. What are the main differences between the 86 and the 87 GIME, asks Rob Inman. Is there any reason not to use the 1987? Is the hidden 256 color mode removed from the 1987? Anybody want to take that question on the differences in the GIME?
Basically, it's timing differences. The fast interrupt timer is a little bit different on the 86 versus the 87. And there was a few little bugs, if I remember, on the 86 that you could work around, but you You could have some crashes that or things not triggering when they're supposed to. And you have to make programs that use really precise timing interrupts to be programmed a little bit differently. You'll see some programs that actually auto-detect which gimme you have and adjust themselves accordingly. And as far as we know, the 256 color mode was removed from both the 86 and the 87 gimmies, and was only maybe in the original prototypes before the gimme was actually its own separate chip.
There you have it. So timing issues. And yeah, so, you know, unfortunately, until Ed Snider's new Gimme X becomes available, you're kind of stuck with whichever one you got, right?
Yeah.
And you can actually look on the chip, and you'll see the year on there. It'll say either 86 or 87. And that's one of the many products we're looking forward to down the road, is possibly that new Gimme replacement that will give everybody a Gimme.
Yeah, I mean, the Gimme's the hardest chip to get. I mean, you can still get 639s and 6809s. The Gimme was only made for Tandy. It hasn't been manufactured in years, so you can only find ones that are a couple decades old. So we needed a replacement of some sort. But the nice thing about the Gimme X project is that they're going to be adding new features as they go too. So there's a ton of extra stuff that'll be on to be able to do faster graphics and other things too. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Right. So if you had a wish list of what to have in a CoCo, then a CoCo 3, you know, an 87 Gimme would be on that wish list. Not to mention the 6309, and then at least 512K of RAM, at least, right? So, and luckily we're you know, many of those things we're not very limited on anymore, other than the Gimme. Yeah, that's hopefully around the corner.
I should mention with the Gimme Sparkly problem, because I know Mark mentioned it in the chat too. There are software workarounds for it. Like when you're changing palettes, if you're changing in the middle of a scan line, that's when the sparkly start happening like crazy. If you time it to be in the horizontal borders and the vertical borders, then that problem can go away. That's why you have to program it specifically for the right chip, which is why the programs that you don't see that kind of problem have both versions in the program itself. Some of the games that Nick's done, some of the demos that Sockmaster's done, for example.
Okay. Hey, we just got a drive-by live chat from Alan Huffman. He says, a quick hi and run. The first Saturday I am available in weeks, but I am coughing too much to join next time.
Tell him to do sign language.
Yeah, it was good to hear from you, even if it's briefly there, Alan. It's been a while, and hopefully we can catch up soon. I like your American flag there in the background there, Ron Delvaux, as we are God Bless America.
That's on my emulator.
Nice. Looks good. So we are observing Memorial Day this weekend, and we want to make sure that CoCoTALK does its job to say thank you to all of those who have served, men and women, in the past and in the present. And I'd also, you know, like to say, for those of who we've lost, we want to say thank you for your service and for your sacrifice for doing that.
Absolutely.
And Alan Huffman says, I still haven't unpacked from CoCo Fest. I thought I was bad, but you got me beat there. So I'm way behind on doing things like that, but I'm only now a week or two behind on organizing, not a month. I'm definitely a lot less sick sounding today than I was last week. I was listening to the replay. I was like, oh my God, I sounded really nasal on that last show.
That was probably me too, because I had a cold at the same time, and I'm pretty well over it now. So
you guys are wimps. I had a kidney stone Monday. I joined the hospital for a while. Got to see the computers down at the hospital.
Wow, that's something. Those,
I'm all better
supposedly, have a man having a kidney stone. They say it's like the closest thing a man is going to have to experience what it's like to give birth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, meds.
I can attest to that.
Come on, meds.
Have you had a kidney stone, Briss?
Twice.
Wow.
Yeah, twice. And the first shot of morphine worked, and then the ones after it didn't. Yeah, it was like, whoa, hey, okay, I'm ready for some more. No, you can't have any. Why are you kidding me? Give me the drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I had one, and over-the-counter meds do not touch that pain.
No. I took
And
Percocet.
I had a woman tell me that she had a kidney stone and she had 3 kids, and the kidney stone was worse. So
Wow.
I heard that too, yeah.
Yeah, well, my dad's had it a bunch of different times. Now, supposedly there are newer treatments where they can do some type of like ultrasound to try to break it up into smaller pieces and things like that to make it easier to pass. But, man, well, we're glad you're doing better, Ron.
Thanks.
And Ron, you got a birthday coming up?
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm going to be playing that song from the Beatles, When I'm 64.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Congrats.
I'm sorry, James, I cut you off. Were you going to say something?
Oh, no, it's okay. It was something about the kidney stone, and I've already forgotten it, so.
Welcome to the kidney stone episode of CoCoTALK. We're going to talk about as we get older, we're going to have a lot more ailments to be discussing on the air here.
I'll have to write a Coco Doctor program or something.
An after dark thing.
An after dark thing.
And Stevie, wasn't it your birthday this week as well?
My birthday was Thursday. Yeah. Hey, Jim Gary's here. Hey, Jim. Ron's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Thank you.
And God bless you, Mark Overholser. Good job on the
You'd switch.
Nick Marotta says I can't wait for the prostate episode. Today on Polyp Talk, we are going to talk about the
Welcome to Geriatric Talk, where we discuss the hot topics of the week.
Yeah. When the doctor gives you the finger.
If it hurts with pee.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was after dark for a second. I retract that statement.
Yeah.
Put that beer away, Curtis. It's not
Off the
time.
lawn.
It's straight vodka, man.
Yes. Do we have project updates to share or anything new and exciting to share as we go around the room? I know Bruce does. I don't know if we're going to make that a segment or not, but James Diffendaffer, anything to share with us on what you've been working on recently?
Well, other than the fact that MAME is giving me hell on the 6303 support.
Yeah, what else is new?
MC10 update. Nothing.
Okay. What about you, Mark D. Overholser?
Well, yeah, I guess. I've been trying to rally support with Thomas Cherryholmes on this Irata Online thing. Irata Online.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's making some headway on a C64 terminal, and I know that, let's see, Philipson was looking at maybe doing a terminal for the CoCo, and Brett is looking at some stuff for Fusix. And so I'm trying to get development environment set up so I can do testing and try to build stuff too. So anyway.
Very cool.
So it looks like you're getting more people interested and more people aware of what's going on. So hopefully we'll have a multi-platform collaboration platform just for classic computers.
That'd be cool.
Somebody was working on Twi-Term, right? They talked about it.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a couple that I've been paying attention to 15 different things. So
yeah.
Any of those terminals that have modular, like support, theoretically you could write, a module to support the Plato system. The tricky thing, of course, is it's not straight text. It also does graphics. So it needs to be in graphics mode because it does lines as well as scalable fonts and stuff. So not quite sure.
Turns out to support ANSI graphics. I think it's probably one of the few.
Oh, more than that. It's got redefinable characters. It can basically redefine.
With Plato.
Yeah, with Plato.
Yeah,
it's your TTL terminal on steroids.
It's quite beyond
Plato, or is it Plato?
Plato, as in the Greek.
Or as in the modeling clay that you're not supposed to eat.
No, that's Play-Doh.
But it smells really good.
Smells good. Yes.
Non-toxic.
Non-toxic, yes. For external use only.
We'll have to get some of the kids to make a Play-Doh Coco.
Yeah. Curtis Boyle, anything new and exciting with you this week?
Not much. I didn't get to touch the CoCo too much this week. I was busy breaking out stuff for the yard and stuff since we went from winter to summer instantly with skipping spring in between. So I was getting the underground sprinklers back up and running and getting the mower going and everything else. So I didn't get too much time. I think I found a bug in G Shell, and it might go back to the original version from Tandy, where I think if you try to directly launch a run B, like a packed Basic 09 program, I don't think it properly launches. I don't think it runs properly at all, which I've tested back a couple versions of Nitrous 9 G Shell. It has that problem all the way through, and I think the original might have it too. There's a way to get around it. If you make an IF file for it, you can set it up so it'll run properly, but just double-clicking on the executable itself seems to be having problems, so I have to try to figure out a way to fix that, but then I got busy with other stuff, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Interesting. Very cool. We've also been joined from Down Under, Mr. Nick Marentes. How are you, Nick?
Hey, not too bad. How are you all?
Not bad, not bad. Anything new and exciting with you going on this week?
No, I've got the same excuse as Curtis. It's been a busy week again. Life just keeps getting in the way. I've been trying to work on my music composition program, little steps every day, but yeah, it's playing, but there's just a few bugs I got to sort out before I unleash it onto the world.
Okay. I'm hearing a real low frequency tone when you speak, like a buzzing sound, like a ground wire or something's coming through there.
From me?
Yeah.
Yeah, from you, Nick. When you speak, it's like a low.
Did you change mics or anything? Or?
No. I'll check all my wires and make sure.
That's a ground hum, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick,
Is it
going to be the end of summer over there?
No, yeah, it is the end of summer. We're entering winter here. Just trying to think where that.
An Australian winter. Yeah, we're still getting that buzz, but I'm sure you'll get it ironed out. And in the meantime, just make a bunch of other noise. That'll compensate for it. Ron Delvaux, what's new and exciting with you, Mr. Almost Birthday Boy?
Well,
and former kidney stone.
I've been drawing and stuff. If you throw up the Ron's Garage, I'll do a couple things.
All right, well, we'll do that when we get to the Ron's Garage section then. Yeah, it's part of the show. Okay, so we'd like to see some of your, some of the artwork, like your trading card mock-up, things like that. Kind of cool. Yeah, I like that idea. And Jason, the CoCoMAN, traveling to whereabouts unknown. What's new and exciting with you this week?
Well, just still trying to get unpacked from Hamvention last weekend, where I found some of those books for Mark Overholser and filling Switch-a-Roo orders. It's been a great response to the Switch-a-Roo, and I'm just working getting all those filled and sent out, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But between that and life, that's about it. And next week, and next week I'll be at CorksCon. That's the Columbus, Ohio Retro Gaming Society's convention in Columbus, Ohio. So I'll be on the road again next weekend also.
As a correspondent, this is truly, this show has reached that is beyond,
I'm hoping to do some kind of live report if I can get a good signal or good bandwidth. Otherwise, I'll try to have some kind of pre-record for you. But,
we have to make a bug for Jason too, where he has like live on scene, at the bottom of his picture.
Roving reporter. Our roving reporter.
Yeah, live special CoCoTALK reports.
Yeah, that could be fun.
And since he's going to be at a gaming convention next week, he can be our raving reporter when he rage quits. Some game he's playing poorly at. So.
Well, I can get past level 1.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Hey, your brother Ken says, look out for that pothole, Jason.
Oh, which one?
Ohio. It's the Ohio Turnpike.
Yeah, I'm paying a toll for those potholes.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Mr. D. Bruce Moore, what's new and exciting with you this week?
Well, Roger Taylor and I have been interacting. He was interested in me doing a bumper, I guess, or something for CoCo TV. So we worked on that together. And, he was talking about paying me for it. I was like, don't pay me, but, but hey, don't you have a development tool or something? And he's like, yeah. So, well, how would you give me a copy of that? He said, okay. So, and he spent some time with me getting it set up, and I'm having a lot of fun with it now. It's probably the fastest way of developing for me now compared to what I was doing before. The speed has definitely picked up, and it's quite enjoyable. So,
okay,
yeah.
And you're going to give us a demonstration on that?
Sure,
today, right?
yeah. I can show it. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right, well, how about we do this? Let's take a quick look at our sponsors, then we'll run a commercial, and then we'll come back. And if you want to be the lead demo for us, Bruce, you know, by all means,
sure.
Let's do that. All right, so we're going to switch over to our sponsors here. With extremely low volume music here.
Sounds pretty good.
Little riff there by L. Curtis Boyle himself. But
that's why you had it on low volume, so you didn't have to subject everybody to it.
We would be remiss if we did not acknowledge some outstanding members of our community who are just creating things for us to enjoy. So last week we had on the show Brendan Donahe of the CoCoVGA project, so check that out at CoCoVGA.com. It is a cool new way to add crisp, clean output to a CoCo 1, a CoCo 2, a Dragon, with all kinds of other neat features. We must also not forget Mr. Richard Lorbieski of Boyson Technology at boysontech.com, maker of the Boomerang 512K memory board, the Paragon Sega Joypad adapter, and the CoCo Shart cable. We have not seen our troll yet, but Mr. Jim Brain of Retro Innovations makes all kinds of cool products for the Texas Instruments machines, for the Commodore 64, and for our beloved CoCo. He makes the CoCo Flash. He's working on the CoCoMEM, the CoCoMEM Junior, and the CoCo Extender 16-pack multi-pack interface, or 8-port multi-pack that can be extended to 16 ports, and what more could you possibly need on your CoCo? Where's David Ladd when we need him? To have him get all kinds of excited.
He's the only one who's going to use all 16s.
I want to remind you about the very cool project called the SD Pack, where you can take an SD card and make it into a bootable ROM pack using your CoCo SDC. The Switch-a-Roo by Jason the CoCoMAN Reighard, the only leading RGB to SCART solution that lets you switch from RGB to composite with the flip of a switch. Get your Switch-a-Roo at CoCoMAN.biz. I want to remind you now, thank you to Roger Taylor, that we are now on CoCo TV on Roku. If you'd like to get a really cool t-shirt, coffee mug, or mouse pad, check out our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com and wear your retro gear. If you need to find out more about the color computer, you can visit imacoconut.com for all your color computer links needs. For us here on the CoCoTALK show, if you need to find out more about the show, how to reach the show, how to join us on Facebook, Instagram, email, on Skype, you name it, you can get all that information at our website at CoCoTalk.live. Let's not forget the CoCo Crew, and we are only a few days left in the month here, so we are anxiously waiting for the latest episode of the CoCo Crew podcast, which you can get at CoCoCrew.org, as well as wherever free podcasts are sold. And last, but certainly not least, let's give a big shout out to our friend and Nick's neighbor, Brian Joyce of Extructus Productions, maker of our best of episodes and all kinds of other cool bonus content for us, including What Did David Ladd Break This Week, Floppy Life, the David Ladd Story, you name it, this guy makes it, and we want to say thank you for that. So there you have it, and let's take a actual real commercial now, because I've got all kinds of new stuff on here. Hopefully one of Jason's commercials will show up. I've got some new and exciting Switch-a-Roo commercials in the mix here, so we're going to see if we can get one of those, and then we'll be right back, and Bruce Moore is going to show us all about Roger Taylor's Phoenix IDE. So we'll be back in just a moment, folks.
Cool.
Hi, this is Dale Leader, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball.
Hi guys, Stevie Strow here, and I want to say thank you so much for being part of this adventure with us. It's been such a great experience in doing CoCoTALK every week, and the support we get is just amazing. And so the fact that you watch and listen is all the reward that we need. However, if you would like to become a patron of the show and offer some financial assistance towards the production and hosting costs of the show, we do have a Patreon site available for that, and you can reach that by going to our website at CoCoTalk.live and clicking on the Patreon link. But just do us a favor and watch and listen to the show.
Fletcher, I don't need that report tomorrow.
Great, JT.
I need it tonight. But JT...
Fletcher saved $300 on her office away from the office. Radio Shack's revolutionary Model 100 computer. It's a word processor, phone directory, and dialer. It even communicates with the office computer.
Fletcher, how's that report? Fletcher.
Radio Shack's Model 100. Save $300 and put it to work.
You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll go far.
That commercial, that was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that one when it first came out too.
Fletcher.
Sorry about that, guys. I had you muted because the volume between the commercials and Skype was so loud. I just had to cut that off. Didn't hear a word you said. Yeah, I love those old commercials. They're so stereotypical too. Very male dominant. You know, it's like the man is the boss. The man's the one that, you know, using the big computer, and the assistant has the little computers. There's so many really bad stereotypes in those things there. But they're neat. I like those old commercials. And I think there's some more of them on Roku's CoCo TV channel too. Hey, Dave Phillipson says, "G'day, mates. How are you, Dave?" Welcome. All right, well, we're here, and we have with us on the program Mr. D. Bruce Moore, creator of Forest of Doom, creator of CoCo Forever, and now the man who's using a new integrated development environment by Roger Taylor. So why don't you tell us all about it, Bruce, and give us a little show and tell.
Well, let me see if I can get the screen shared properly here, and then we'll go to it. How's that looking?
We see it now.
You see it now. Okay.
We see it now. I'm going to actually make it a little bit bigger right now. So let's go here and let's make this full screen, full screen. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I just picked this up a couple of days ago, and it was a little daunting. There's no manual for it or anything, but Roger was messaging me a fair bit to help get me going. And so part of what impressed me, you know, I'm just going to load up one of the projects that just came with it here. So here's this little assembly language program which inverts some text to the beginning of the screen.
Okay.
Okay, so over here on the side here, you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, I'm highlighting it, object demo.bin, okay?
Okay.
The program is going to be compiled as demo.bin, compiled using this cross assembler, I guess it's called. Is that what it's called? I'm not sure exactly what the term is there, but it's an assembler which will it's running on Windows, but it's going to assemble it as a CoCo program.
That's a cross assembler. It's not assembling for the platform you're running on.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So so it's like it's set to go here. I just hit this go button here, and boom, it opened up VCC and ran the code. As you can see, it inverted the top 4 lines of text, just like it said it would right here in this, you know, like that fast and simple. I thought, wow, that's, you know, that actually encourages me to even consider writing some assembly code, which I haven't done in ages. So there's a bunch of other good demo programs that come with it, but I'll just open up the one that I've been working on here. So the first thing you need is a disk. Lovely disk here. You make sure you choose the JVC RS-DOS version because I think it defaults to something else.
Okay.
So you choose that and you format it, and that gives you sort of a blank copy which sits in the project folder. And then when you assemble or build your project, it goes into a duplicate of this disk, which is in a product folder. This is what Roger and I were going back and forth on for a couple of hours. I kept linking to the wrong disk, trying to say, where's my program? Where's my program? It was in a different folder. Okay. So for instance, so here's this little assembly language program. I wanted to make this nice little pattern that would go around on a regular VDG screen. And it's like, oh, I can do this, you know? Oh, sure, right. I remember some of this stuff. I got my William Barton book out, which I bought from Neil at the CoCo Fest. just to remind me what some of the commands were. And then I got a basic program going here. So you'll notice over on the right-hand side, I had to say that I had to specify the action. When I hit the go button and build it, the action here is it's going to copy this code onto the disk, the EP6 disk here.
Okay.
The disk that I just made, this guy right here. It's going to copy it onto there, and I have to tell it that it's going to be a basic and an ASCII file. And the name right there. So when I hit go, it fires it onto that disk, and with VCC, and it's also going to fire this guy up too and stick it on the disk. This machine language code, which I've named frame.bin. It's going to build it as a cross assembler. So how I just do that? Go. Okay. So my disk, it doesn't do this for you. You have to insert the disk yourself.
Okay.
Oh, but once you do it, it remembers it. So it's remembered, and so now I just type. Well, here, first of all, I'll do this. Okay. So the program that I put on there was frame.bin, and then the basic program. And these other two programs were supporting code that I put on for some other stuff. So I just go run, and of course, being an ASCII, it does take a little bit to load up here. Apparently, there's a way to tokenize this and get it all faster. But for now, run.
Oh, when it ports it from the IDE to the disk, it does it straight ASCII.
Yeah,
look at that, CoCo Forever, episode 6.
Yeah, and then here I choose my monitor type, so I'm going to choose RGB. So now I got the right colors. Okay, so there's the beginning of the episode 6 multimedia portion, and you see the little semi-graphic frame around there. That's what the assembly language code does. It just draws that little frame for me, and I just hit. In the basic program, I say load frame.bin, and then I just hit an execute whenever I'm going to put the text on the screen. So I mean, there it was. That's simple, and I can just then close this, flip back to my code, edit a little bit of stuff here, and then just hit go, and it's there. And I just run it again, and away I go. So it sped things up crazy. The editor, the editor's nice, cut and paste and all that. I can make the fonts big for my old eyes.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so it's sped things up. I've been doing sort of using Windows and Notepad and stuff to do faster development, but oh, I see. I changed one of the pieces of code. Okay, so here I'm going to do a quick little edit here. Where is it? I took the play command out here. I commented it out. I'm going to put it back in, and so you'll get to. So this is a bit of a teaser now in a way. You'll get to see how the episode 6 fires up. The non-audio portion. So of course you got to wait here for the ASCII code to load.
Now you said it has basic tokenization built in. You just don't have it enabled yet, or just something weird you have to do to get that to work?
Yeah, well, I haven't figured it out yet, and I haven't managed to get a hold of Roger. But apparently there is some tokenization somewhere which should make that go faster. I'll be happy when I get that sorted out. Okay, so this time when I hit spacebar, this is what we get.
Ooh. Yeah, I hear the music and see the little image. I didn't even see that image before.
Yeah, well, that's it because I was using the play command to keep it on the screen. Gotcha. So, yeah. So, and there, so here we are. And now, can you guess what you got to do here? This is, Curtis, when you had asked me at CoCo Fest whether any of this stuff was going to be interactive, I'd said no at that point. But I got thinking, you know what? I could do this as a pick-a-path adventure book.
Yeah, choose your own adventure style.
Yeah, so that's what I started doing, and it's actually going real fast. And here, as you can see, you have 3 choices. What am I going to do here? So I don't think I'll press anymore. I don't want to give too much away, but you're pretty deep into once you're into episode 6, you're pretty deep into the crap in the CoCo Forever worlds. So yeah, that I guess that's my demo. Unless unless you want to see any of the other demo projects. I mean, that's just what I just got going in.
I have a question. I haven't used his Phoenix IDE, and I had toyed with one of his earlier IDs, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head.
There was a Rainbow.
Rainbow was one,
yeah.
Yeah, but I was wondering, does he have like native OS 9 support for base 9 programs and base OS 9 assembly and stuff too? Or
I believe. Well, let's see here. Okay, for the disks, I see a lot of OS 9 entries. I know that might be too small for you to see in your screen. So there's OS 9 disks there, and let's see, what have I got here for file types? It doesn't really say there, but I mean, I have seen some OS 9 stuff in the docs here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I just don't. Yeah, I'm not sure on how all that. I don't know how all that works, but
okay. And it's strictly a Windows program, right? I mean, you can run it obviously with some of the emulators and virtual machines on Mac OS and etc.
Which is what I'm doing right now. I'm running a Mac, but I'm using Boot Camp Parallels to run this. So, like for just if you look on the side here, the post build, you can see where I point it to VCC. It came with VCC 1.41, but I've changed and pointed it to the newer version, the 2.0.1b, and it worked just fine when I did that. So it fires it, and you can send it to MAME and MESS if you want to, tinker with it some more, which I think I would kind of like to, because then I could get it to auto run. But baby steps here. So
yeah, and MAME has the built-in debugger too, which I assume you could put command line parameters to turn that on if you want to. Step through.
I guess you could do all that stuff, and some of the tests. He's got a whole lot of test projects. Some of these are quite impressive, actually. Some really big assembly programs and that. And anyway, so yeah. So is that good, or any other questions?
No, I like it. Yeah, one of the things I was wondering was are you kind of locked into the VCC? But I think you already answered that question, because that would not be the most desired tool for me to use, but
does he have support for DriveWire as well, where you can actually directly put it to a real CoCo?
I don't know. That would be interesting if you could send it that way. I have no idea though if that'll go straight to a real CoCo or not.
Somebody like Rick Adams might be interested in a feature like that. I don't think it would be too hard. You'd write to a disk image because DriveWire is using disk images anyway, and as long as it's all linked up properly, you should be able to remount the disk, I'd assume.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. Well,
hey, Bruce?
Let's see. Yes, go ahead.
Do you know what Roger Taylor asks for payment for this? I know it's he has a PayPal link. So my understanding, you're supposed to pay something if you want to use it.
I think it's $50 or something like that.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen the price, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm not sure. But this is certainly sped along my development, and I was glad to do it.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, to be able to modify your code right here on the screen, and then just click a button and have it fire up and test it, especially in BASIC, because there aren't too many IDEs that support BASIC. Most of them are for assembly, right? So this is pretty cool. I'm interested.
Yeah,
might be placing an order.
This is fast, real fast. I'm almost done this thing. I thought it was going to take forever, but I'm almost done this episode 6 piece, and I just started it yesterday. So,
wow.
Yeah,
and
good.
Now it doesn't let you do anything like renumber or anything like that, right?
No, I haven't seen that. It looks like the standard select, copy, paste, cut, delete, undo, redo. But the undo is sure nice sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if you, because when you're looking at the editor, is there a two-way link? Like, let's say you put your code in here, you fire it up in the virtual CoCo, you say, oh, I need to change this, and you just renumber something on the virtual CoCo. Will that change make its way back to the editor and everything else, or is it like a one-way?
No, it should be a one-way, because it's copying from the initial image in the project folder, and then it puts the image you want to use in the product folder. So it Yeah, it appears to be a
right,
one-way.
because you can't have the same disk image mounted twice by the editor and by the emulator, right? That's
yeah. So I mean, you could. I mean, you there's ways to get around that. Like I've got I've got an image file on this disk. I just had to copy it onto the template disk. If maybe that's the best word to use for it. I copied it onto the template disk, and then whenever I do my code, it uses the template disk to make the new image. And so it's there. So it's, there are ways around. If you need to renumber something, I guess you do it manually and then put your virtual disk back in and away you go.
Yeah, well, it does give you more control, I suppose, doing it that way.
Yeah.
But that's one of the few features of BASIC I actually like, because it's, the renumber ability, it actually does come in handy.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. And we did, I didn't want to interrupt while you were talking, but our friend Stu M from the Florida Retro Club stopped by and sent his greetings. And so I've actually got a couple of really cool videos of Stuart that I have not downloaded and edited yet. But the weekend right after CoCoFest, I think, is when I went to that Florida Retro Club thing. And Stuart had a really impressive solder station set up with all kinds of, and a microscope pointing down on a big screen TV. And so he did a couple CoCo projects. One of them was putting together the CoCo SDC from a kit. Oh. So if you've never seen the assembly of a CoCo SDC, we've got a very, very long video of that, because he was also explaining a lot of stuff along the way. So it wasn't just a straight up assembly of the product. It was more explaining solder and explaining things, and so it was it's going to be, I don't even know how long it is. It's going to be a super long video, but anybody who's interested in understanding how solder works, you're going to learn a lot from this video when I finally get that one. And then also, after the club meeting was over, Stuart stayed and put together my Game Master cartridge for me, because I don't know how to solder and I didn't want to screw it up. So I've also got a video, which is shorter, of the Game Master cartridge being assembled and soldered as well. So there's a couple of these videos I'm going to be getting when I get caught up and showing those off. So for people who are interested in seeing soldering and things like that, those are going to be kind of cool.
So obviously he's not one of these guys like me that solders his hair.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, so that's kind of cool. There's the book, William Barton. Yes. And just so you know, I have reached out to William Barton, and he is up for doing an interview. So it's just now a question of going to be scheduling. So I have messaged him on Facebook. We have talked. He's interested. It's just going to be, getting the time to make it happen. So, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Thanks for sharing there, Bruce. Anybody have anything they want to chime in on as far as development and things that you saw that you liked, or things you might want to see if you were to use a development environment, especially like Nick or Curtis or anybody?
Well, if it supports DriveWire, that would be really nice, because then you could just blast it right to a real CoCo fairly quickly and test it on the real hardware. I mean, it's nice using VCC and MAME, but they're not always perfect emulators. So,
right.
Does it have syntax highlighting for different?
No, it's not giving me any help with that. I have to get it right.
Okay.
Yeah. Still better than Notepad though.
Yeah. So if you made a code, because a lot of and this is where I get confused, especially in the CoCo stuff, because IDE is a acronym that's used in a couple of places, like, for example, hard drives, right? So there is something like the Glenside IDE, which is a hard drive controller. And now we have this Phoenix IDE, which is an integrated development environment. So unfortunately, those acronyms are interchanged, and a lot of times I hear them, I'm not sure what the context is. But I have seen some IDEs that, for like Python, for example, and when you tab out your code, it actually color codes certain things. And so some of the more even open source freer tools will kind of color code your programming language, because they understand the syntax.
Yeah, Notepad++ is one that lets you define your own. I actually have one for OS9 assembly language that highlights.
Ah,
that's right.
I see.
I've written definitions for about a dozen different processors for Notepad++. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like hundreds you can download for various languages for all kinds of platforms. So
that's cool. Getting back to your question about does he solder his hair? He says, "I don't have much hair left."
Oh, so he
So the
practiced a
answer
lot
was
like I did.
The answer was yes, I guess.
I was going to say, too, putting together a CoCo SDC, you should title that episode the Ed Snider Simulator or something like that.
Well, it does give you an appreciation for how much work gets involved in putting that together, because there's a lot. And I think the difference in price from the kit to the assembled is only about a $10 difference in price. So the value of the labor definitely exceeds $10. But if it's something where you're a do-it-yourself kind of person and you know how to do these things, or you want to do these things and you want the experience, then that's different. But if you're just looking to save money, I don't think you're going to save. I don't think the financial savings are going to be worth the time and energy needed to put that CoCo SDC together. There's a lot of parts to it.
Steve, you might want to consider with that video. You say it's really long. Maybe you could do a sped up version too. It's time lapse. That might be kind of cool too.
Yeah,
you lose your audio, but that could be nice.
Yeah. Once I
You
get
gotta do that, you got to use Yakety Sax.
What's that, Jason?
You have to use that Yakety Sax song from the old Benny Hill show.
Oh, the yeah, that's always good for a time lapse. All right, well, speaking of Jason the CoCoMAN, let's run another commercial here, because if we're lucky, it's going to come up randomly, one of these new Switch-a-Roo commercials. And by the way, Nick, we want to see if we can maybe get you to do some authentic Australian voiceover for this commercial, because it's just text, but it really needs that Australian voice. So maybe we can get either the real Nick Marentes or the fake Nick Marionettes, whichever one's available, and more affordable.
Yeah,
but
the bizarro world, Nick.
So am I supposed to be reading something, or?
Well, if it comes up and you want to give it a shot, let me know. Hold on one second here. Let's see if it comes up in the next commercial break.
Hi, this is Rick Adams, and I'm the author of Temple of Bronze, High, and now Bomb Threat, and you're listening to Stevie Strow on CoCoTALK.
Gsoft, we make games for the TRS-80 color computer, TRS-80 MC10.
I'm actually going to let commercials roll until the damn thing comes up. How about that?
Longest episode ever.
Yes. I don't remember where I put it. Yeah. Be on the ready, Nick, with your best Australian accent.
So come on and drop by our website and download our latest games.
Computer shopping has never been better at Radio Shack. Here's proof. Our new ultra-high-performance 386SX 20 MHz computer with 85 megabyte hard drive, only $12.99. And it's from Tandy, manufacturer of the best-selling PC compatibles in America. Or get a 286-based Tandy home office computer with color monitor and hard drive, only $899.95. Shop your friendly nearby Radio Shack. Great selection, superior service. Nobody compares.
Nobody compares.
What if you could go back in time to just the right moment and ensure that Tandy won?
You definitely earned this office.
Thank you. Yes, you're too kind.
Oh, I'm much happier breaking stuff. Life has been a dream.
But what if you went back to the wrong moment?
Give me that. How do you even know what that was?
Listen, I don't really care about these blueprints. I just want...
Say, who are you? You want to spy for Commodore or something, are you?
Just move!
Oh.
Hey, hold the elevator! Hold the
Stop right there.
Whoa, no need for guns, no need for guns.
So, Mr. Anders, it seems you have stumbled upon my little secret. There is no point in waiting for security. I think you are about to have an accident.
No!
CoCo. Forever 2018.
Introducing a computer that can change the way you
Man, we got every commercial but the one we're looking for here. So when this one's done, I'm just going to bring up the file because this is taking forever. All right. But this is Bill Bixby, so let's give him his moment.
I'm just waiting for him to Hulk out.
Yeah.
Available at Radio Shack computer centers and so affordable. Tandy technology, service, and support are clearly superior.
Clearly superior. All right, so let's we're gonna do it live. We're gonna do this manual. All right, so which one do you think would be a good one to pull up, Jason? There's 4 of them.
Number 3.
Number 3. All right, Nick, are you ready? With your best Australian accent. All right. Hold on, let's start it over. Let's make it full screen on this computer. There we go.
The RGB to SCART solution for the Tandy Color Computer 3. Use your CoCo 3 on a modern display, mate. Switch-a-Roo. What else am I supposed to say? I don't know.
Well, I guess that's the best Australian we're going to get today.
I didn't know what to expect.
Let's try,
take 2.
Let's try this one again. Let's take it from the top. This time with feeling, Nick. All right?
How many are we allowed to? How many takes are we allowed to have?
As many as necessary, and really let your inner Australian out. All right, don't hold it back. Okay.
Well, I don't have much there, but anyway.
All right, let's try this one again.
RGB to SCART solution for the Tandy Color Computer 3. That doesn't sound Australian, does it? Jeez. Cut.
Switch-a-Roo is Australian for RGB to SCART cable.
I don't know where to fit it in, you know.
We have to get Nick Marionettes to do this. I don't know.
Yeah. You want to give this one a shot, Bruce? You got to unmute yourself.
You want me to do a turn? Okay.
Channeling Marionettes. Channeling Marionettes.
I don't know.
We need more cowbell here. We need more Australian.
All right.
All right, here we go.
The RGB to SCART solution for the Tandy Color Computer 3. Just go RGB to compensate with just the flip of a switch. The Switch-a-Roo. Use your CoCo 3 on a modern display. That's Australian for RGB to SCART cable. Switch-a-Roo. Get one today.
That'll do.
All right. Have we beat this one to death?
That was watching the sausage get made.
Those were made by Can Make It, so but maybe a little rejigging to work in some voiceover or something. I'll have to speak to him about it. But
that was fun though.
Yeah, Ken came up with all those. That was all him. But I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I love that the kangaroo, but with the scan lines. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's neat. That's neat. All right, so we were talking about soldering before the break. Dave Phillipson says, for the CoCo SDC building, there is some personal satisfaction that one may derive from building the kit. And again, that's if that's your thing, you know. If you got to scratch your itch and that's your thing, then you might just want to make that a CoCo project and solder up that CoCo SDC.
Not with a scratching with a soldering iron.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, I would injure myself trying to do that. So,
but if it doesn't work, it'll probably be one of the worst projects you've made.
Yeah, right. Oh, Mark, you made a couple of these, Mark? All right, so Mark says he actually did a couple of them in November 2014. It says it was a fantastic experience, just like the Heath kit or the Radio Shack kits. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I bought the kits, bought 2 of them from Ed, and then John Strong didn't have any cases yet, so I actually got the Tim Tim Linder's cases, so the clear one.
Oh, those are rare items now. They're not that many.
Yeah, only people from the first run got those. So
yeah, that's neat. Now, Dave Phillipson says, in my younger days, I would have never dreamed it possible to hand solder fine pitch SMD parts, but as of a few years ago, I've discovered that it is possible. There you go. So those of you with skills, that's a beautiful thing. What else we got to talk about now? Do we want to talk about a couple of news items? Of course, I don't have too many of them queued up yet.
Only thing I'm just going to put a request out there is that we should have a maybe someone do a tutorial on how to hook up the CoCo through DriveWire to access some of these BBSs we saw last week. It sounds like it'd be a fun little project to be able to just use your CoCo to do some online BBS gaming or whatever. But the thing is, how do you do it? There hasn't really been, there's no easy instructions anywhere on how to do that.
Ease of use.
Ease of use. That's right. I'm the man.
Yeah.
It pays to be dumb.
I was going to say you're overqualified, but I wasn't.
Well, that's right. So yeah.
Hey, at least you didn't solder your hair. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. So it looked like a fun little thing to do. Access some of those 80s BBSs, but yeah, doing it on a real CoCo is a bit difficult nowadays. But yeah, through DriveWire. I mean, I didn't realize that you couldn't actually use DriveWire. You had to use that Pi drive. Is that what it's called? That Mike's creating. Does that sound right?
You could use DriveWire too. Mikey's DriveWire term would work on RS-DOS.
But what I was hoping to use is Sockmaster's Twilight Terminal. Yeah, so it brings up all the graphics.
Right, the Twilight Terminal, because it's serial based, you'd have to have a serial link and then like a TCP SIR to basically redirect the serial port to TCP on your host. Or a Pi would do it too.
Yeah.
So, or those Hayes compatible things that Dave's been using too, right? The ESPs.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, the ESP link or ZI. The ZI one is designed to act like a Hayes modem on serial. Yeah.
So is the challenge because we're in RS-DOS that it's harder to get DriveWire Telnet to RS-DOS?
Yeah. It's really more an OS9 thing.
Is it not built into the CoCo SDC since CoCo SDC can mount DriveWire?
I think CoCo SDC only supports the disk drive protocol part of it. It doesn't support the TCP stuff.
Ah, I see. So that would be a challenge then, right? Is getting that. Now, what's the next best thing then? Could you get an emulator to get TCP going through RS-DOS, or is it just the RS-DOS and TCP are not a thing right now?
I've done it with a friend of mine from back in the day wrote a little program that runs on Windows that transfers the stuff through TCP IP. And
well, that's what you were using last week, right, Ron? You were running something on Windows, right?
S-term.
S-term.
Yep, it's an old program.
Yeah, that's the idea. If you put that onto your DriveWire server, you run that program sort of separate, or any version of that. Like I use something else, but I did the same thing, and I was able to call bulletin board systems with it. So,
okay, so S-term becomes a software version of like a serial modem, then, right? It gives you the RS2 connection to your CoCo with a hardwire. And then it does the Telnet session for you.
Yeah, and then you can use standard terminal programs that just go through the RS-232, like Sockmaster's.
Oh, and then you just have the host name that you put in there, and it connects to whatever available physical serial ports on your PC. Ron?
Yeah, I used the RS-232 pack with a 25-pin USB hooked to it.
Okay,
and that program controls COM7, basically.
Which is your USB serial cable.
Yeah. And then I'm on.
Okay.
And I can ping on there and do other things.
So is it possible to have a drive wire which is plugged into the bitbanger serial port so that your COM software on the CoCo, whether it's Twilight Term or whatever, sees that as a modem then? Is that how it works? Drive wire looks like a modem off the bitbanger port.
It should, because it's still just a serial port.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still using the RS-232 cable to your PC. So yeah, it should. I mean, your speed would be a little bit more limited than.
Yeah, that's all right.
Pack,
yeah,
but Twilight Terminal, I mean, that handles 9600 on the bitbanger. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I was hoping I could use Twilight Term through the bitbanger, but I didn't know what's involved in getting it connected to the PC via DriveWire, and I didn't know if DriveWire does that on its own, or as I found out later, the Mike's program PyDrive or whatever, PyWire or whatever, is the thing you need to do that.
It should work. The only thing that might be an issue is if DriveWire requires some of the extra lines on the RS-232 besides the straight send receive stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that was basically my request. What we need is someone to do a tutorial on how to make it easy for us simple folk on how to hook up a CoCo through the bitbanger port through the PC to get onto these BBSs that we've seen. Yeah.
As any of you, like Ron or Mark or anybody else on the call, have any of you tried using the bitbanger, going through STerm or any of these other programs to see if it'll work?
I've done it with bitbanger before with a cable I had, but the cable broke, and I have a new cable that I got from CoCoFest, but I haven't tried it.
But you have done it before, so it does work.
Yeah, but I don't think I used Ultimate Term to do it. And the other thing is Twilight Term is limited. Like if I wanted to save the buffer off, I haven't been very successful at doing anything with the buffer on Twilight Term. Ultimate Term has good buffer manipulation. You can dump it to the drive. You can look at it.
Well, like John originally designed Twilight Term basically to have a really decent ANSI viewer, so you could do the online games and some of this stuff like that. He wasn't really shooting to make it a full-blown terminal program. Like there's no download protocols, no X modem, no Y modem, no Z modem, etc. So
yeah, somebody was going to do X modem on it, and we're asking Sockmaster, or I guess did he make it?
Yeah.
Asking if he would relinquish or give up the code on it.
Yeah, X modem is pretty easy to implement, especially if you just do checksum. So it's pretty small routine.
So I figured if we do get this whole modeming thing working, maybe Sockmaster will go back and add in that feature. Who knows?
It would be nice.
If he sees people are using Twilight Term, he might just add the buffer in and whatever.
Yeah, well, he does have a buffer in there. I just think it was more meant to be a scroll back so you could view it. I don't think he has much for saving or not.
All right.
Big chunks of it, like you can't select a certain part of it, or
as
far as I remember, I haven't used it in a while, but.
And this might be a job for David Ladd too. I mean, there's something to get him off floppy drives, get him to talk to us, and he loves all the serial stuff. So, And who better to describe it all?
Yeah, in a 6-part series that we'll be having about 3 hours a week.
Actually, it's kind of in-depth because there's a lot of ways you could do it. I mean, you could do it through DriveWire. You could do it with a serial link, like to the STerm, or the TCP SIR, which is Jim Brain's thing. It works the same way. It basically attaches a serial port and then directs it through TCP/IP. And then you could use a Pi. There's a couple different ones that do that. You could use the Wi-Fi link, like the Wi-Fi modem thing. Or the ones that David Brain's been playing with, or David Ladd or Alan Huffman's. I mean, there's about 10 different ways you could wire the thing up. So yeah, it'd be a very in-depth. It's like if you have this, and this, you can do this. If you have that, you can do that.
So if David does it, it will be longer than 6 weeks.
Yeah, we'd have to make a separate video on each option.
Well, probably pick the easiest one, the one that's the easiest.
The one that requires no extra hardware. That's the one you want to. The most use it off start.
DriveWire cable would be the easiest one to start with because pretty much everybody has a DriveWire cable.
And then you can do an advanced version for people with an RS-232 pack and whatever else.
Or the bitbanger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'd be fun because then we'll have some network games that CoCo people can play together maybe.
Well, that's kind of what I've been wanting to do, is to do network games. So at the moment, Irata Online might be a possibility. If we get a Plato terminal, then you'll be able to use any one of these linking methods.
That's right. So the more people that have got their CoCo on the internet as such, with this, the more people will play these online games. CoCo people.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my goal.
Just an idea. Just an idea.
And under OS 9 too. I mean, if you had your CoCo hooked up with OS 9 as a multi-user system, you could actually have multiple users logging into your CoCo, real CoCo, and actually play the game live on the CoCo against each other, and cooperative play, or however you design the game.
That'd be fun too.
We had a few of those back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to go online with Deskmate to CompuServe, I think. Back in the day.
Yeah. I used the Deskmate terminal program on Tandy 1000 for a while before ANSI became big.
Yeah.
Ironically, the program I used to go on CompuServe under OS 9 was called S-Term.
Oh, really?
Written by a CoCo user that supported the CompuServe B protocol, which is kind of like Z modem, Y modem hybrid thing. It was their own custom one, and it supported the screen codes and stuff too. But that's what it was called at the time, Simple Terminal, I think, or something like that for CompuServe.
Is that a OS 9 program?
Yeah, it was. It was by Mark Griffith, or one of the old OS 9 guys from the late 80s.
So maybe if you can add a good terminal, if it's not already there, add a good terminal to the ease of use package.
Yeah.
And that way, it's just a double click to launch a terminal, and if OS 9's already got the ability, then at least from OS 9, that's I think the goal is ease of use, right? So if it's not an RS-DOS, if we boot up the ease of use distribution and double click a icon, and then we can do a Telnet BBS, that's still good. All right.
Well, I think Dave's been talking about doing some more work on Supercom. I mean, we have to pick the one that Dave Phillipson took over from him, because he added some features too, and kind of work off that as a base. And then a KBCom would be another one that I might consider, because it's got built-in VT100 ANSI. Not as extravagant as Sockmasters, because that takes a lot of hardware tricks to do all that, but it'll give you enough of a base terminal to do it, yeah.
Okay. So that might be a way to go.
A whole new world.
Yeah. Grant Leedy has joined us in the live chat. He says, "Hello, guys. I will return to the show next weekend. I think the viewership has dropped in my absence." Huh? So Grant's the big draw to the show, huh?
Yeah, apparently his Eco has not suffered any side effects from being awesome.
No.
That's a good thing.
Jason Ken says he's got more rain coming your way. So your forecast has just been delivered.
I'm already in the rain, but okay.
All right, there you go. And then Grant says, "I'm doing much better and on the road to good health. I've already lost 30 or more pounds." Wow, good for you.
You won't
Grant.
recognize him at the next fest.
Yeah, right.
Always the last place you look.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm getting a lot more intrigued about doing some type of BBS stuff too. I do think that the entry point for me also would need to be somewhat simple. I don't want to go through a convoluted connection contraption and all kinds of stuff. I would like an ease of use way to get on. I think Ron's on to something good there with the cable going to a PC. That's at least halfway in the middle, and puts it in. If you've got a GUI PC app where you can control it, that might be kind of cool.
Yeah, the only problem I have with S-Term is it works with Windows 7, which is what I have. It doesn't seem to work with Windows 10.
Kind of like volume settings.
Oops. Yeah, is that maybe the driver for the serial port? Because
I don't know.
I've had that issue where I had a bunch of USB to DB9 serial ports that stopped working on Windows 10 completely, and I actually got a new one that had Windows 10 drivers for it.
Maybe it has to do with their drivers being, having to have a certificate or whatever you guys talked about last week. The drivers have to be
signed drivers.
Signed drivers.
Yeah, because putting up a virtual driver of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are rogue.
Rogue drivers.
Yeah.
I think we used to call those viruses, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just checking. We're still streaming to Roku, so that's good.
Yeah, I've had it on here.
Yeah.
Oh, did you pick up Roku, Steve, to test it yourself, or?
No, I'm looking at the website that I use. Oh, there it is on Roku.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Clear as a bell.
Next up, we'll be on NBC and CBS and Fox.
Oh, so Ken says Jason is kind of like the driving montage from Rocky IV. I don't remember that particular driving montage. But,
I have no idea.
Yeah. Need a little Eye of the Tiger music playing in the background. I know that's from Rocky III, but whatever. It's always good. It's always good motivational music there. Good stuff. All right. So what else did we have in news, or what do we have in news this week? I know you had mentioned a few things, Curtis, and I don't have a lot of things queued up just yet, but
there wasn't too many. There was a couple new game things. I mean, Jim Gary had his the one named after the alien ship, which for some reason just escaped my brain. Let me just scroll back and take a look.
Yeah. Here, I'll put up a few on the screen here too. Just things that if we don't talk about them today, we'll get to them. But one of the things that was kind of cool is that Ron Klein posted a picture of his CoCoVGA setup, which I thought looked really nice. And so this is kind of the logo when you first turn it on, right, of CoCoVGA. And he's got a really clean silver Coco 1 with multi-pack, and it looks really nice. You can see how shiny that silver is there, right? And that's a aftermarket keyboard. I'm not sure what the gray and black keyboard is, but I like it.
It's what the heck was it called? Keytronics? They made two different ones, if I remember.
Yeah.
Just can't remember which one it is.
So he's got a nice little setup here. He's got it connected to a VGA monitor, a nice little flat screen VGA monitor there, right? And so here you can see some of the configurable color sets here. And so you can see some of these text symbols here. Like one of them looks like a bomb, and we've got some of the card symbols and some explosions. Now, what I'm not sure about is, that's calling this the Minecraft characters? Is that what it says? Minecraft? We got different character sets we can load. If you even look at the semi-graphics, some of the semi-graphics have been updated where they're not just like completely blocked or kind of angular, and it's got some circles and stuff. So that's kind of neat that we can upgrade the semi-graphics characters. That looks pretty neat. This was one of the demos, and this is all using, I guess, text characters, but it kind of looks like a Zelda or type
Ultima.
of adventure Ultima type game, huh? Yeah.
And that's a 32 by 16 screen. That's not even using the 64 column mode.
Oh wow. So apparently we can get color. Right, so has he changed the semi-graphics ones to get the color, or is he also able to do color text?
You can redefine the colors, I think. I can't remember if you can do more than 2 in a cell, but you can redefine the colors, yeah.
All right, so there's the little person walking. We've got trees. We've got water.
It's like SimCity, or?
Yeah, I get, and they got a dirt road here, so it kind of looks like, you said this is like an Ultima-inspired thing?
It's very Ultima 2, Ultima 3 level style.
Okay. And then this must be the 64 by 32, right?
Yep.
In OS 9, what level 2 is that? OS
Level 1.
Level 2? Level 1.
Yep.
So yeah, OS 9 level 1 booting up there.
And true lowercase.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So Ron showed that off. And
I like the monitor stand.
Yeah, it looks nice. Everything kind of matches the black and silver look of the Coco.
Yeah, I was wondering, they're working on a replacement for the GIME chip. Is that going to be retrofittable to the Coco 1 too?
No.
No, not at all.
No, the GIME, there's nothing in the Coco 1 to plug it into.
I know, but there.
But Brendan keeps adding more stuff to the CoCoVGA. I mean, the character sets was just added, and he's got 64 column mode and resettable palettes, and the 128 by 96 by 16 color modes. I mean, he's adding stuff that it's basically catching up to a Coco 3 in some ways, and surpassing in others. He's got a bigger color palette than the Coco 3 has.
That's what made me think of it, I guess.
Yeah, and this is one I'm going to try to show more of, hopefully by next week when I have more time to prepare for it. But Richard Kelly's been posting a lot of different discs in the Facebook group on some programs he's been working on. And I actually played this one here, the Rat Maze, and it's pretty cool. So when you look at it's kind of hard to see it big here. It's not getting any bigger. That's what she said. But when you look at it here, and it works on. I'm assuming it might work on a CoCo 2 as well. But what I thought was neat about it was it did have kind of this Daggerath look to it, right? So it generates a random maze. You tell it the dimensions of the maze. The default, I think, is 10 by 10. You've got to find your way out. When you find your way out, you see a screen that tells you how many moves you used, and then you're going to see a map, and the map is going to show you basically all the turns you took before you found your exit, and it can be pretty time consuming. I think the first time I played it took me something like 98 moves to find my way out of the maze. So it's a neat little program, and he's got a bunch of them, and I have not had time to pre-test and pre-review them all, and I'm going to try to get him on the show too, but he's got some storm issues. But we'll see. Now, Ken has just posted something in the thing, and I think it's probably worth trying. But Ken says, here's the Rocky IV driving montage. But he says the joke might not be worth the effort. But we're going to find out right now. Of course, now are we going to get copyright flags? Who knows? All right. So this is what I guess he says Jason is reminding him of. Southpaw. Okay. So this is the driving montage. And that's apparently what Jason reminds us of.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there he is. There's Sly in the car. There we go.
I'll have
right
to watch
there.
it later. I'm keeping my eyes on the road.
Yeah, yeah. Here I see the similarities. You do look a lot like Sylvester Stallone, and the angle is almost identical here. All right. So
Can
I probably
CoCoMAN
need
say
to.
Adrian?
Let's hear you say, "Yo, Adrian." Yo, Adrian. Yes. So, so yeah, there you have it. So, Jason doing his best Sly Stallone montage look in there. Very, very nice. All right. So yeah, so it's going to be a light news week this week, but we'll catch up next week. I think a lot of us are getting our health back together. That's good. We've got kind of a Ken says, I told you it wasn't worth the effort. Way to bring the show to its knees there, Ken. So no, that's cool.
Because there's only a couple other stories I put in. It's like, Diego's got some screenshots up from his new game he's working on, and then Jim Gary had that Nostromo game that he kind of ported lightly, I guess, because he didn't really play the original game, doesn't know how it exactly worked. For his Nostromo game from the NEC PC 6001.
All right, so I'll pull up the Facebook group real quick and see if there's anything else in here. All right, Paul T. Barton has got stuff he's been working on, so that's kind of cool. Here it is. Let me just go ahead and get over here to full screen. Let's get back to full screen, on screen number 1. Yes. All right. So Paul T. Barton's working on a Gerber view program. Is this something that makes his
circuit boards?
Circuit boards. Okay. So that looks cool. So it looks like Paul's going to be developing some things. So he showed a picture too of I think a ROM cartridge thing. So here's Diego. We met Diego at CoCo Fest. So FLACK, this is obviously on a CoCo 3. It's looking pretty good. He's got spaceships and explosions going on here. So this must be some of the graphics characters.
I think those are airplanes.
Yeah, airplanes. I said spaceships, but yeah, you know what I meant. Yeah, airplanes and explosions. Thank
kind
you,
of time pilot-ish, I think. I don't know if that's what you're shooting for.
Okay. But. So here's us posting about CoCoTALK. Okay, here we go. Bruce Moore showing he found CoCo out in the wild. So cool picture of CoCo there. I don't know what that box of CoCo is here. Here's me showing. Yeah, so it took me 92 steps to get through my first maze on there. Here's Bruce posting the picture of his integrated development environment, which he showed us off today. Yeah, and it looks really cool. So I was thinking when I was going to jump into assembly, would I use EdTASM? But maybe I won't. Maybe I don't need to go through that struggle. Here's one of the pictures that Ron was coming up with. So maybe we'll do a Ron's Garage section. Should I pull up your group, Ron?
Sure.
We'll do a Ron's Garage section.
Yep.
All right. So let's do that. Let's look for Ron's Garage. And before we get to Ron's Garage, we've got a professional little intro here. So hold on.
Way, man.
Let's do a professional intro here. So hold on, people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Ron's Garage with a peek into the past featuring the retro computing collection of Ron Delvaux. All right, so here's Ron. Ron is here, and we're going to switch over to full screen, and we're going to look at the Ron's Garage Facebook group. So what's the first thing we want to look at here,
This first thing is called ViewMaster, and it's a little program I came up with on the SDC that reviews graphics files, and it works well. And you throw in a disk. I have a stack of disks here. If you can look quick at my...
Hold on just a second here. You have a stack of discs. You were not kidding, sir.
No. Each one of these has, 5, 6, 7 either Max, PIX, or CM3 files on them that I've collected over the years. I've even got more than in my garage. Anyway, that program works great. You throw a disc in, and you can review whatever's on the disc. You can go one by one. You can switch to drives, and works well. Then there's
Master by Dave Mills, huh?
This is kind of a predecessor to Roger Taylor's projector too, isn't it?
Could be,
because it showed multiple CoCo formats, and I think Roger started adding stuff like GIFs and Atari STs and stuff because his program does similar, but I think it was released a couple years later.
Yep. And on this high color program, I found out that you can save the image after you bring it up as a bin file, and then it loads much quicker, and it's just like it was when you dithered it.
Yeah, and this is a really nice picture of the American flag here on your CoCo 3. That looks really good. Yeah, and you can see I like the shadows in the flag here of the
it's
waves.
A BMP file. It looks great on your PC, and then when you put it on the CoCo to have it look great again is pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then if you scroll down some, you'll see I came up with an idea for and here Atari's running Nitrous 09 now.
What is that called? Libra 09 or something?
Yeah, Boise worked on that with Mark, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I ran across that and threw it up there. Thought it was interesting, but like I said, you probably already knew that stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And here's your flag, which you've already got saved as a bin file on a disk. So if anybody wants to load up that flag there. And that's CoCo TV, what it looks like before it was on live. Then this is a trading card I came up with. You know how everybody has baseball cards and football cards, and there's actually if you go on Google, you can look up. There are apps you can get that make baseball cards or trading cards of whatever kind you want. They come up with backgrounds, and text areas and so on. And I thought it'd be cool to do something like this maybe, and have each computer that Tandy had, even the pocket ones, everything. And then even have, personalities, Lonnie Falk and some of the other guys from Tandy, and, Steve Bjork and some of the, the game guys. And the back, usually they have, which I didn't do, but on the back is usually all the info about the computer or the person, And then somebody mentioned, might even be below that, that you could, if you bought a SDC, that you would get 3 or 4 cards with it. Cool idea. Start your collection, huh?
Yeah. But it's just an idea I threw out there. I was thinking about it. I went and looked. I searched Google to find computer trading cards, and I didn't see anything. Which doesn't mean they don't exist, I guess. But
well, that opens up a lot of ideas. So not only do you have the trading cards and the collectible aspect, but maybe even a card game. And which reminds me, there is one thing I do want to show off. But keep talking. I'm going to find it on YouTube. But one of our viewers is working on a game that's called the MC10 versus the CoCo 3. So I want to show off I want to show off that one. He left it in a comment on last week's show, so I want to find that one because it's pretty good. But yeah, that would be kind of cool to have like some type of card game where, you know, let me throw down your card. Well, I've thrown down to 6809. Well, I'll see your 6809 and I'll raise you a 6309, right? So my card now is trumps your card or something.
Yeah, but not a 6309 with 8 megabytes.
Come up with some type of strategy here.
Yeah.
All right, so here's so this came from Wayne Arron, and Wayne Arron has worked on this little demo here that I'm gonna fire up here. But I don't know how loud the volume's going to be either. And I'll put a link to this in the Mr. Retro Man.
Oh.
There's the MC10. There's only one name for adventure. The Tandy CoCo 3.
That's got the expansion pack on it, I see.
Yeah. And what is he shooting out? He's shooting out floppies. A race against time.
Cassettes.
Quest for glory. Yeah, one of them's a floppy, but the one that's moving really fast, I can't make out what it is. Oh, is it a cassette drive? Cassette player?
I don't know.
MC10 versus CoCo 3. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a game that he's going to be working on. It looks like it might be 2 players, and you can get you know, I guess your MC10 is shooting things against CoCo 3, kind of like a Pong thing going on here. Now here you got a picture of a multi-pack with an LED mod. Did you do that yourself?
Yeah, no, that came in my collection when I bought a collection.
Ah.
And I didn't even notice it for like a year or two. Then one day I'm looking over there and I thought, well, gee, it's on. There's a light. Well, none of my other ones have it. Is this normal? And then I realized, nope, somebody had did it, you know, extra.
Does it change color if you switch slots?
No. It's just a power light.
Yeah. And you had showed off some of these pictures here, too, of the dithering.
Yeah, back in the day,
dithering.
I used my DS69 to take pictures off live TV of the shuttle taking off. I got a whole bunch of those, and I got some pictures of the moon landing and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and they come out pretty decent. Some of them, you know, I had to go through a whole bunch of pictures. I take a whole lot of pictures, and then I throw a bunch out that you can't even understand what it is you're looking at. You know, it's a digitized mess.
Yeah,
it came out pretty decent.
Yeah,
and somebody was saying that there was a program to take pictures. I think it's on the PC that makes them black and white. And then somebody mentioned, maybe it was Nick, that it's better to have a dithered black and white picture than a complete black and white picture.
Yeah, like a grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the dithered looks nice because it also makes it look kind of like something you would see in an old like newspaper or something like that too. You know, so.
Yeah, this is the standard for retro, isn't it? Having something that's you know, black and white or crude, pixely. And
yeah, the more lo-fi, the better, I think.
Yep.
Oh, wow, this is horrible. What is this, desk made on a CoCo 1, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, the original desk made.
And that's on the SDC. The SDC on one of my on my TDP 100 has it as a CoCo 2. When it first boots up, you know, when it identifies the computer. But on this one, it shows it as a CoCo 1, which is interesting. I wonder why the TDP is different.
Well, I don't know if it detects the TDP separately or not. I don't know how to look for that.
The TDP is basically just an F-board CoCo, so it wouldn't know the difference, I don't think.
Well, then I wonder why.
Yep. You got a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Ron's Garage Facebook group has just got a ton of stuff on there.
Yeah. Always trying to be active and thinking of things to put up. And it's probably one of the places you'd want to stop and look at stuff and see what kind of stupid things I'm doing. I try to make up for not being able to program, I guess.
James Diffendaffer says. All right. So, James says, today's show was so exciting, I decided to go finish mowing my lawn instead. Wow. We're glad we could motivate you that way, James. Anything we could do here. And I know Jason's got all kinds of noise in the background there, so good stuff.
Maybe Jason's changing a tire. Hopefully not.
No, I'm getting ready to sign off.
Oh.
All right, Jason. And next week you're going to be our correspondent all the way from CorgsCon, right? Columbus, Ohio Retro Gaming Society. Yeah, I saw the website. Looks like it's a pretty cool event. I wish I could be there. Looks like it'd be fun.
All right, everybody. Take care. I'll catch you next week.
All right. Sounds good. And there goes Jason, the CoCoMAN. All right. Well, what else we got to talk about today, boys and girls? Anything good?
Oh, not too much. I think all of us are getting kind of into the summer mode. So
I got a question.
Yeah, Ron.
How is it we're going to find out what impact CoCo TV might have? I wonder, there's no way to really gauge who's looked at it, or do you know if Roger has any tools that he can tell how many actually saw during the period of time that he played it? You know?
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll have to ask Roger about that, because honestly, I'm not that sure. I don't. Now, when you look at it on your end and you look at CoCo TV, can you see how many times something's been viewed, like one of those commercials? Will it show you how many times it's been seen? No?
No, in fact, I don't think it's on anymore.
Okay. So then that, hopefully behind the scenes, Roger has a way to see that. I'm just not sure. So yeah, I mean, it's neat that we're on CoCo TV. I'm happy that we're there. I'm happy that there's another way somebody can possibly find out about the show. And by the way, it's now ended too. So I think we only had about an hour and a half left to stream there today.
Oh, okay.
We used up the last of his trial. So we're off the air on Roku. But no, it's going to be nice to be there. I think it's just another way for somebody to find us. And, you know, anything we can do to get the CoCo out there for people to learn about the CoCo, learn about the show is great. But even without us being on Roku, if you have a Roku, you could just watch it on YouTube, right? You could still watch it live on YouTube. But the fact it's on a channel, a CoCo TV channel, that's all CoCo related, and it is able to be watched live, I think is pretty cool. So,
have you guys watched the that guy at the on the Roku that explains how to use your color computer? He's got a beard.
Oh, I've seen some of those on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
I don't actually have a Roku myself, so. But yeah, I've seen that. I've seen one or two of those series.
Does he do a good job? I saw maybe one, and he maybe goes into too much depth. He shows every little detail, doesn't he? Pretty much.
I haven't watched it enough to be able to tell you. I know it's period accurate. It was recorded
back in the early 80s.
It was a new thing.
Okay.
And I think there's many parts to it. So. You got me curious to want to watch it some more. Obviously, it's not going to cover anything new like what we have now with the CoCo SDC and all these other things. But I think it's a cool slice of history that somebody did that, and it's out there for us to enjoy. So that might be a cool thing just to do in your spare time, is binge watch some of those and see for yourself. I haven't watched enough to be able to tell you. Do you remember the name of the guy who did it himself, the guy with the beard?
Let's see.
Yeah, because it was recorded on like a local PBS station or something somewhere, wasn't it? Like it was an actual TV show.
It's Learning Your Color Computer 13-part series.
So there you go. 13
does it say the name of the guy in there, Ron? Or?
No, I don't think it does.
I think he introduces himself at the beginning of each episode. But.
So let's see if we can find it. I'm going to try to pull it up on YouTube. Yeah, so...
Roku does a commercial.
So I'll pull it up on the full screen here, but it is, so the website itself, or the YouTube channel, is called TJ Seagrove.
Yep, and the host and instructor is Christopher Mayeux. I guess I don't know if that's pronouncing his name right. It says at the just under there.
All right, well, we'll pull it up and we'll see it. 9, 8. Look at this. Look how retro this looks. 4, 3, 2. Yeah, this looks like it was ripped straight from a VHS tape, you know?
Probably was.
It sounds like CoCo music.
It is CoCo music.
Yeah.
With your host and instructor, Christopher Mayeux.
We need to get this guy on our show.
Yeah. The CoCo SIG, New Orleans, Louisiana.
I could get him to do videos for our ease of use project, and I won't have to do any more docs.
Welcome to Learn Your Color Computer.
Yeah, his beard is much bigger than mine.
I'd like to say a few words about the biggest problem in the computer community today, and that's the closet computers. They're the ones that end up in your closet, alone and neglected.
The closet computers that end up in here.
He's the real Timberman.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, that's cool. That's out there. Learn Your Color Computer in 13 lessons. So
what else do we have for new people? I know we have I'm a CoConut.com, right? When you first get a computer, let's say some of these people on Roku are watching this and they're going, "Oh, geez, I'm going to get me one of those," and then they win they win something on eBay and it gets home and now, let's fire it up, or let's figure out what to do.
Ken said, "Is this one of the guys from ZZ Top?" Really going crazy about a sharp dressed man. Yeah. So the question is, if you're new to CoCo, where do you go? Right? What's one of the first things you do?
Yeah, you can watch this guy, I guess, huh? You
can watch this guy. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I started doing. I'm a CoCoNet for is like a place to go, like a directory, if you will, where to go to find out more. And actually on that site, I created one page. It's called Start Here that kind of breaks things down for you.
Show us quick.
If you, all right, so hold on.
I should mention Christopher is on Facebook. Apparently he's also a minister.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Cool.
All right, so full screen.
Still got the beard too. Actually, it's bigger than ever.
Okay. So here is IamACoConut.com, right? So IamACoConut.com is the website. And this used to be one page, and then it got to be too much for everything, so I started breaking it into different pages kind of by category. So one of the ones I added is one that just says Start Here. And when you click on Start Here, this says, all right, this is like your cheat sheet. So first thing it says is, what are some of your top resources? Where can you go to get information? So I've got listed the CoCo Crew podcast, the Color Computer Facebook group, CoCoTALK Live talk show and podcast, and the Color Computer mailing list. So here's some quick resources that should be on the top of your list. And then I talk a little bit about real hardware, like, what's your cheapest, best way to get started is to look for like a CoCo 2 on eBay and look to spend about $60. I talk about the CoCo 3 and how, if you want to get a CoCo 3 fully loaded, you're probably going to end up spending $300 by the time you add memory and a 6309 and everything else to it. And then I talk about the single must-have item being the CoCo SDC controller. And then I talk about some of the emulators like VCC, XROR, and MAME. And then where to get software from. The old software can be gotten from the Color Computer Archive. I do talk about some of the new software like Glenn Hewlett's projects, Karen Anscombe, Lee Patterson, a bunch of things like that. So I talk about some of that. And then I even talk about hardware and software alternatives like the CoCo FPGA by Gary Becker and the Roger Taylor's CoCo on a Chip, which is now something else, right? Matchbox CoCo. So that was kind of like a one-page summary of things to know. And then I got into different pages, like here's your different communities. And so communities, groups, and events. So it's got links to like Tandy Assembly and the CoCo Fest Facebook group, the Color Computer Facebook group, MC10 Facebook group, CoCo Crew Podcast on Facebook, Dragon on Facebook, right? How to get to the mailing list, how to get to the Glensides website. So I got a bunch of ones on there under the communities, under your resources and archives. I've got more things here too, like how to get the Boise and Bale book, the Rainbow Online Tandy Forum Retro Tandy by Steve Batson, CoCopedia still out there, the wiki, RadioShackCatalogs.com. So yeah, I mean, I've really tried to put all this stuff together, blogs and projects I've got on here. And then, you know, so I've kind of got these sorted by, is it a blog, is it a project, is it about development, is it about hardware? And so I've tried to get all these guys on there. So, you know, that has been a resource that I've tried to maintain. But, you know, it's only as good as if people give me the information. So, anyways, if we had to pick one, and I'm going to be a little biased, I would say, yeah, go to I'm@coconet.com, and that will hopefully let you spread your wings and find out a bunch of other sites, right?
Yep. I just put the link to Christopher's Facebook page in the YouTube chat, too, if you want to take a look. He actually has a part about his little videos on the lower left for the CoCo stuff.
Reverend Fuzzy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's appropriately named. Like I said, his beard's even bigger than it was back in those days. So.
Wow. And Nick Marotta says, nobody gets mad playing video games like you do, Steve, right? Oh, so Wayne Aaron says, I just wanted to say hi and to let you know I've posted an update to my game MC10 versus CoCo 3. We actually just showed that off a few minutes ago, Wayne. And I don't know if... let's see if there's a new video, if it's on his channel or not. Updated video unedited. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's go to full screen. And let's take a look at the updated video. All right, so yeah, it looks like it's shooting off floppies and cassette decks. Oh, and now the CoCo 3 is firing back. And what is it firing back? Okay, it's shooting something bigger. It's moving so fast I can't tell though. Are you getting points by catching what it's showing? Maybe you have to catch the floppy and dodge the cassettes. I'm not sure. Yeah, I do like how the MC10. Now he's shooting something real big. Can you see what that is? I'm gonna have to pause that next time.
Well, the MC10 moves slow and the CoCo goes so fast. It must be a 6309.
I think the CoCo is firing a floppy disk drive.
That's what I'm trying to see, but it's going so fast. Let's replay it. Yeah, that's a cassette. That's a cassette. Okay, so yeah, it's a floppy and controller. Yeah. Floppy and controller. So it's a hardware battle where they're shooting hardware back and forth at each other. That's pretty cool. Now, if that's running on a real CoCo, that's actually really impressive. I don't know if that's running on something else, like a modern system or not, but the fact that you got a CoCo shooting floppy disks at so yeah, so Wayne says they're disk drives. Just wanted to say
it would be tough to get those little graphics so clear on a
real CoCo.
CoCo, I think. Yeah.
Oh, he says that's running on an iMac.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably better.
Yeah. Well, at least you can run it on newer hardware, right? So the MC10 versus the CoCo, that's actually a pretty cool idea, right? I know Jim Gary was working on one too, where he had a game he was showing off around CoCo Fest time where it was like a maze, and you had to retrobrite all the MC10 had to go around and retrobrite old CoCo 3s or something like that. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so anything we can do to help perpetuate the running gag of the MC10.
Where's Steve Bjork?
You know what? We haven't seen Steve now. This is 2 weeks in a row. We haven't had him on, so I'm not sure.
Did we get him mad?
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot for one show. We're coming up on 2 hours, so we could make this a short show and save some stuff for next week. We don't have to beat it too long, right? I'm going to try to run another commercial. And Jason was actually on his way to Ken's house, his brother Ken. So Jason is now with Ken, right? So how about we run another commercial? Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get another Switch-a-Roo commercial to come up. And if not, that's okay. And I do have a new closing video. I don't know if you guys noticed the opening video. I have a new I spent some time this morning. We've got a new intro. We've got a new outro. And I've got a new post-credit video as well. So I have some new content to play us out with today. So let's run a commercial and let's see if we get lucky and get another Switch-a-Roo. Maybe we'll put Nick Marentes on the spot again here with his really bad Australian accent here and see how he does.
author of such projects such as the Stevie Strow Devil and the SD Pack, and you're watching CoCoTALK. 3, 2, go.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me.
David Ladd. Well, we didn't get a Switch-a-Roo there. We might get one after this commercial here. Since Ron stepped away, I'll play one more commercial. We might get lucky and get a Switch-a-Roo. So let's try it.
Fellow Americans, Australians, Canadians, Europeans, and all of you ands, I'm calling on all y'all to help us make the world great again by visiting the Retro Swag shop at 8bit256.com, where you can get yourself a coffee mug like this with a little cute cartoon character that says, I'm a Coco Nut. You could also get yourself a coffee mug like this with a Color Computer 3 that says, I'm a Coco Nut. You could get yourself a deluxe travel mug like this with the CoCoTALK logo on it. You might even be able to get yourself a DVD like this with over 2 hours of gameplay goodness. It is time for us to rise up and make the world great again by enjoying some quality retro merchandise and CoCo nostalgia. So please visit 8bit256.com and let's make the world great for the color computer. Thank you very much.
There we go, Nick. You're on the spot.
Oh no, the RGB to SCART solution for the Tandy Color Computer 3. Go from RGB to composite with the flip of a switch. Switch-a-Roo. Use your CoCo 3 on a modern display. Just flip it and forget it.
There we go.
It doesn't sound very Australian though, does it?
Just flip.
You've been listening to us too long.
I know.
Yeah. Losing your accent.
Just flip it and forget it. Yeah, we are having volume problems again, Grant Leedy. You just got to love this random frickin' problem. It's very frustrating. All right, there we go. So we got in another commercial for Switch-a-Roo. All right, well, I don't think we need to beat this one to death this week. So we'll go around the room. We'll let everybody sign off. And then we've got at least 2 credit scenes to enjoy here. So it's not over. This is not the end. This is only the beginning of the end. So Ron Delvaux, thank you for being here. Let's acknowledge who is no longer with us in the call, but James Diffendaffer was here earlier. He was so excited about our show that he had to go mow his lawn. And then Ken Reighard, Jason Reighard, going to see his brother Ken, was on the road again. So thanks, you guys. Ron Delvaux, thank you for being here and showing us off some cool stuff.
Yep.
Anything you want to say to the folks at home before we wrap this puppy up?
Nope. I'm just, I'm really enjoying taking BMP files and making them work on the CoCo. And I send out a couple of happy birthdays, on the computer and some of my
I saw
friends
that. I got one.
Yeah. And then they're surprised. They go, well, thank you very much.
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
I thought, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is definitely very cool. Yeah, and let's say hi to who was with us in the live chat too. So Diego was with us in the live chat. Tom C, Brendan Donahe, Disney Saints fan, one of our patrons. Nick Marotta, Rob Inman was out there. Alan Huffman stopped by in the live chat. Jim Gary was in the live chat. Dave Phillipson, Stu M from our Florida Retro Club was out there. And Grant Leedy was out there. Ken Make It was out there. Mr. James Diffendaffer had stopped by. Jim Gary, I believe I said hi to. Wayne Arron, thanks for stopping by and thanks for showing us those cool videos of the MC10 versus the CoCo 3. Cool stuff. Curtis Boyle, any parting thoughts, words of wisdom?
Not this week. I didn't get much done, so I...
What about you, Nick Marentes?
No, nothing new on my end. So, yeah, till next week.
Sounds good.
I'll
Bruce
work on that Aussie accent.
Yeah, you work on that Australian accent.
Maybe Bruce can give you some tips.
Yeah, watch some Outback commercials and take some pointers, right? So
that's right.
Bruce Moore, any parting thoughts?
Well, I think my cold is finally, for the most part, gone. So I should be able to start doing some dialogue recording again, maybe next week. And CoCo Forever coming soon to a CoCo near you.
Excellent. And what about you, Mark D. Overholser?
Oh, the usual. Wish I got more done than I did, but you know, the online stuff's starting to kind of take off, and I see there's a need for maybe a tutorial video, so I should get all the solutions I have and maybe do some stuff. Anyway,
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
CoCo content.
Yep. Anyway.
All right. Well, here's part 1 of our new outro before we get into our post-credit scene. So enjoy this. I just wish the volume was a little bit louder. But here you go, folks. This concludes another episode of CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things CoCoTALK, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. If you love the color computer like we do, then visit imacoconut.com for all your color computer links needs. Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, visit the Patreon link on our site at CoCoTalk.live. CoCoTalk would not exist without the community and its cast and crew. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholser, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reighard, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Karen Anscombe, Simon Jonason, Wayne Campbell, Steve Batson, Brian Joyce, John Strong, and Barry Nelson. Special thanks to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and Brian Joyce for our best of episodes and bonus content. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its contributors. The CoCo Crew podcast at CoCoCrew.org. Glenside Color Computer Club, host of CoCo Fest at GlensideCCC.com. Jim Brain and Retro Innovations at go4retro.com. Tandy Assembly at TandyAssembly.com. Boyson Technologies at BOYSONTech.com. Get your own Switch-a-Roo at CoCoMAN.biz and Cloud9 Technologies at Cloud9Tech.com. CoCoTalk is hosted by Steve Strobridge. Co-hosts, technical directors, segment hosts, and producers: Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Grant Leedy, Mark Overholser, Ron Delvaux, and Jason Reichert. Production motivation, Steve Bjork. The CoCoTalk theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Schalar. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. CoCo forever, people. And let's not forget a very special thank you to Roger Taylor for getting us on the CoCo TV channel on Roku. If only it was louder. All right, well, that concludes the credits. The slightly shortened version of credits, but we got it all in there. I squeezed in a little more content in a little less time. What'd you think of that?
I think it's better paced. I'm sure Steve Bjork would agree
I think
with
it worked. I think it worked.
Yep. And I managed to squeeze in Jason the CoCoMAN there and a little Roger Taylor in the end, too. So we got everybody in there.
You just need to do it in a better Australian fake accent, that's all.
But wait, I'm sure Jim Brain will have something to say about it.
Yeah, well, that's what Rob Inman just said. Jim from Retro is going to troll those credits big time. All right, well, here's the even more improved post-credit scene. So with a special clip at the end that I hope you will all enjoy. So here we go, folks.
Hi, this is Antonio Jimenez, author of such projects such as the Stevie Strow Devil and the SD Pack, and you're watching CoCoTALK. 3, 2, go.
I'm behind you making faces.
Okay. You're rolling, Curtis. You say whatever the hell you want to say.
Well, give me some kind of guideline.
Hi, this is Curtis Boyle.
Hey, this is Eric, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
All right, we're rolling. You say whatever you want to say, David.
Nation, world's leading weekly handy computer. Something like that.
Hi, I'm Tim. Playing Daggerith like that idiot from the book. You're watching CoCoTALK.
Thank you, David. No, get back up there for 1 second.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
What?
Let's get some drive wire, TTL,
No,
ESP.
no, we don't need any drive wire or TTL. Hi, it's Curtis Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people.
Hi, we're on Delvaux Timberman. To experience Coco Fest, you must come. I brought the only working MC10. I could not get. Couldn't get a grant. By certain someone you know. Oh well.
The world's leading weekly CoCoTALK show. Yeah, something like that.
Hi, this is Rick Adams, and I'm the author of Temple of Brahm, Shanghai, and now Bomb Threat, and you're listening to Stevie Strow on CoCoTALK.
8-slot MPI, you know, floppy drive, CoCo SDC, Sound Speech Pack, Orchestra 90, RS-232 pack, modem pack, Super IDE. You start adding all those together if you want them all usable at the same time. Well, guess what? You just went over the 4-slot MPI.
Amazing.
There you go. It would only have been better if David was wearing a robe.
Or not.
Towel on the head anyway.
Yeah. So there we have it. There's our new post-credit scene with a little bonus mind explosion there for you. And we're still under 2 hours. So I think we're definitely underachieving this week. We're letting our audience down. We haven't even got 2 hours worth of content here. But another good show. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thank you, everybody in the live stream, for being here. We certainly appreciate you watching the show. And we will have more CoCo goodness for you coming next week. So make sure you stay tuned and share with your friends. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Later, all.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. See you later.